Hi everyone, this is Kerem Barama Solar Academy. I have Michelle Graef from Meyer Burger with me today. Michelle, good to see you. Good to see you again.
Great to see you as always. Love this.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about Meyer Burger and its long history in the solar industry. But before we go in there, Michelle, I'd like to talk a little bit about your background and how and when you came into the solar industry and the things you have done over the past years and how you found yourself at Meyer Burger.
Yeah, I love that. And thank you for doing that. So interestingly enough, before I got into the solar industry, I was in the craft beer industry. So I was in craft beer for a little over a decade, from manufacturing to distribution in multiple states, and kind of had like, you know, the kind of tenure you have when you know like all the crazy stories and the details and all that. And in 2019, my dad got sober in his life for the first time, and on his 1 year anniversary, I got to be there when he got the coin, when he got his 1 year coin. And it was just such an awesome thing to see. And by the way, that was 6 years ago, or no, yeah, about 6 years ago that he got that, and he's still been sober. It's like totally awesome. But at the same time, I left there and I was like, I just can't be in this industry anymore. I still think it's such a cool story and there's so many cool things in the craft beer industry, but I just no longer had the passion to help sell it. So I started looking around and asking myself, like, wait, what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? And I had been considering solar for my own house. And so I said, I might as well look into solar industry. Kind of sat down with a few companies that were in my backyard, which is Ohio, and got an opportunity with each of them. But the funny thing is they were each like, well, we don't really care about what your background is. Everybody starts at ground zero, right? Everybody works their way up from the bottom. So no problem. Completely shifted. 2020, go into a solar installer, and within 30 days, COVID happened. So now I'm like, complete industry change. I've got COVID. They want me like in homes with homeowners. It was a lot, right? But it was also kind of the moment that says like either you rise to the occasion or you let it swallow you. And so I feel great about the fact that I kind of rose to the occasion. And so I did the street level stuff. I went into the homes. I knocked on some doors. I sold, and it wasn't too bad at it. So
Wow.
uh and then it let me, then my some of the strengths that I had from my previous industry kind of got the opportunity to meet what openings that they had. And so we I got the opportunity to move into more of a training role and then start to run the training department and then sort of add internal communications into the whole mix. So I was doing a little bit of internal communications, internal conversations, training, a little bit of everything. It was a ton of fun. And then ultimately that company went out of business, and so I moved on to another installer, but went to the other end of the spectrum. So the first one, yeah, 14, 15 states, much bigger. This one, much smaller, just a couple states in my backyard in Ohio. And wanted to try just something a little bit smaller. And they had an opportunity for someone to take on marketing. I had been doing some sales and marketing when I was in the beer side of things. So we kind of applied what I knew from that over into their world. And you know 5 or 6 months later, they would also fall victim to what we've sort of seen in the solar industry. So at that point, I had also gotten exposed to Meyer Burger. This was the third panel brand that I'd kind of get to learn and know. And they reached
As
out
you,
and
as you were selling to homeowners, essentially,
yeah,
because
no,
you were
exactly
selling
right. You got it
multiple brands
exactly.
of panels. Yeah, yeah.
I loved their story. I loved the quality. And I just thought it was just a really cool brand out there. And they reached out, Artist Johnson did, and it's like, hey, let's talk about what you might do here with us. And I was lucky enough to be offered a role in there on the marketing side. And so that's where I've been for a little less than a year. But I came in with the knowledge of the brand as a whole from the previous installer. And even more importantly, I came in with the knowledge of what it's like to be an installer in the
Right.
US. And it's not easy, right? And I
Yeah.
know what you really want from your manufacturers and what a partnership actually means from the other side of the table, and I understand the struggle and the hurdle of overcoming objections at the kitchen table. So it's been really cool to be able to take this sort of rapid fire experience and turn it around into like an empathetic way to help installers actually grow in a meaningful way, not just make it all about money. So this is really cool. I'm very excited. It's all about partnership. And so that's been my journey. I don't know anything.
Yeah, that is great. So that's a great background. And the fact that you've lived the life of an installer and installer salesperson and have seen all their challenges, it makes you a great resource and a leader at Meyer Burger. I have no doubt, and I already have a knowledge of that from our previous
Yeah,
conversations.
it's super fun. I've actually helped to install on 3 different projects. So I've been on 2 roofs, one of which scared the heck out of me. It was a really steep roof, but I did it. And then the other one was a ground mount. So it's been cool. I've been actually able to carry a solar panel up a ladder, harnessed in, like getting down and dirty with everyone. So yeah, I think it's been a ton of fun. There's always more to learn, but I'm thankful for where I am now.
And I know how interested and energized and excited you become when we talk about educating the world about all the great knowledge you guys hold at Meyer Burger institutionally inside the company, but also like how that's a natural part of your personality as well. So let's go dive into it right
Yeah,
now.
enough about me. Let's talk about the
Yeah.
company, I guess.
So